Hi everybody, Eric Hess, Tri-State Tax Service, Hamilton, Ohio. Today we're going to talk about operating cost for the average truck. But it's not just the average truck. Where I get my data on this is from the American Transportation Research Institute. And where they get their information is from all the big fleets report into them, giving them all their information every year. And by that I mean they report the fuel cost, maintenance cost. They do a complete breakdown. And I'm talking about your Werners, your J.B. Hunt, your Schneiders, Swift, your big fleets, 500 to 1,000 trucks or more. So, Prime, they got a bunch of trucks. But real quick here, I want to share something with you. A friend of mine got me a while back. It's a coffee mug, just a simple coffee mug. And I'm going to hold it up here, there. And maybe you can freeze the camera or the video for a second and read what it says, but I want to read it to you. Trucker, someone who does precision guesswork based on unreliable data provided by those of questionable knowledge. That kind of breaks it down right there. That kind of lets you know the truth of the matter. There, I don't know if you can see that there or not, but we'll hold it up for a second. I got another one around here somewhere I can't find. It says, skilled truck drivers, how is it? Skilled truck drivers aren't cheap. Cheap truck drivers aren't skilled. That's another good cup I like. So I'm going to set this over here so it can't get broken. Okay. American Trucking Research, American Transportation Research Institute. Now, some of the figures they come up with, as I said, it's based on big fleets. So, some of the cost that I'm about to give you, we got to add a little bit more to that. Those of us that when fuel is at $2.25 a gallon at the pump, cash price, and because we use a Comdata card or some other discount card, you might get 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents off a gallon. So let's just say at 20 cents off a gallon, at $2.25, it's still $2.05 a gallon you're paying. The big fleets are only paying, you can knock another 70, 80 cents a gallon off of that for what the big fleets are paying. They get some really good discounts on everything. Their tires, their parts, their fuel, everything. But I'll hold this up here real quick for a second. And I thought I had another copy of this. I do. One second, right here. I can get myself organized. Now I'm going to roll my chair out a little bit. And there again, you can freeze the screen. But what we're looking at here, they're saying fuel cost per mile. Now this is 2018, by the way. They don't have the 2019 info in yet. So this is for 2018. It's 43.3, just basically 43 cents a gallon, or a mile, fuel cost. You'll see another one here, truck and lease and purchase payments of 0.265. You come on down the line, repairs and maintenance, 0.171. Truck insurance premiums, which I don't know if that includes cargo insurance or not. I don't know that one. It just says truck insurance premiums, 0.084 cents a mile, so about 8 cents a mile. Permits and license, 0.024. Okay. And then we come on down here for tires, 0.038. And then tolls. The total of that above columns up there, not counting drivers paying wages at the bottom, but the above totals come to $1.05. Okay, now I've always said $1.10. Why? The operating cost for a smaller guy, as I said just a minute ago, is a lot higher. You don't get the big fuel discounts. You don't get the big tire discounts. You go to buy fuel filters, oil filters, and all that stuff when you're PM in your trucks. Depending on where you buy your stuff, but I'm going to say this, the filters alone are anywhere from $125 up to $200. And they get the same filters a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. So their $1.05, I don't think I'm far off when I say $1.10. Okay, and here's something else you got to keep in mind. I'm looking at my screen right here. Talks about tank, guys that pull tank. Now, hold on one second, because it says $2.15 a mile. And I'm going to take away what they're saying of 0.84 minus for wages and benefits, drivers wages and benefits. So that comes to $1.31. So if you're pulling tanker, it costs more. And here's another thing we got to remember. Guys that haul heavy, oversized, the big loads, man, their fuel cost, their tire cost, that's a lot higher also. Their maintenance is high. Anybody that hauls heavy. Now that some of the states here in the Midwest are allowing I'll say regular flatbeds, a lot of the guys have triaxle trailers. They're putting 70, 80,000 pounds on the deck and going down the road with it legally with permits. Their expenses are higher, okay, because they're not getting 6 miles per gallon. I don't know what they're getting. They might be getting 4, 4.5. So their costs are higher. They're more wear and tear on the tires. Their costs are higher. So we got to keep that in mind. So now here's something else I pulled up, and this is the fuel cost per mile here. Now, if we look at this, once again, we'll put up here so you can look at it, and you can freeze the screen if you like for a second, stop it. Now, if you take the higher cost of 0.506, which is on the left, and the last column, 0.391, that's for units, companies have over 1,000 power units, okay, and there's a lot of them out there. Right there, that tells you the difference. That is the difference between those two. The average would now come to 0.4485 cents per mile fuel cost, 44.85. And if you remember, the first one we looked at was 0.433 for fuel. So there again, it's the big fleets get a big discount, but they're the ones reporting in to this organization. So that's all the information this organization has to work with. And if you go to this website, which I'll try holding this up one more time. If you go to this website and you look at what I'm looking at here on the screen, if you go all the way towards the bottom, anyone can report into this American Transportation Research Association here, Institute. Anybody can report in. 1 truck, 10 trucks, 100 trucks. They want that information. Now, here's another good example of the fuel cost per mile. If you look, now this is going back in 2018, and keep in mind 2018 was a good year for trucking. It started going down in 2019. But if you look at this scale here, I have, you can see the dark black is the cents per mile compared to price. And if you look at 2018, there is no way the average owner-operator was running out there paying just a little over $1 a gallon for fuel and stuff. I mean, it's just, but that's what they have to report on, because here is their monthly U.S. on-highway diesel prices. And something else we got to keep in mind, where do you live? You're going to pay more in the Northeast for fuel and other tolls and all this other stuff than the Midwesterners or the Southerners, or so you got to keep that in mind. Pennsylvania, high fuel tax. Texas, low fuel tax. So you got to keep all that in mind. Another chart here. This just shows where fuel was up over about $3.40 a gallon, and then it dropped down to a little under $3.10. It's about $3 a gallon. But this is November 2018. Now it's way down now. But still, statistics doesn't lie. Math doesn't lie. So it's real simple for anyone that has just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks to sit down. Let's start with 1 truck. You're driving it probably. So you don't need to keep track of your gallons. You just got to keep track of your cost per your how much you paid every time you fuel. Keep that. And once again, I showed you the envelopes in the other video. Easy bookkeeping, easy record keeping is what it is. So you can keep track of your miles for the month. Miles ran, take all your expenses, add them up, subtract that into the mile, or divide that into miles, you got your cost per mile. It's not hard to do. It's not very hard to do. So, with that said, I hope I've enlightened many of you into realizing the actual cost to run a truck down the road. I ask people that question sometimes. And I say, well, what's it cost you to run your truck down the road? And I say, oh, they start looking. There's numbers in the ceiling or somewhere in the sky. And they say, well, I don't know. I guess it cost me. And all they think about is fuel. They only think about fuel. I guess it cost me around 40, 50 cents a mile, I guess, is all it cost me to run my truck down the road. And I'm getting paid $1.25 or something. I just broke it down how reality is. You have to look at everything because you're going to have maintenance. You're going to have you got your fixed payments each month. You got your truck payment, your insurance, and maybe a fixed parking fee if you got to pay to park somewhere. Those are fixed. Everything else is a variable. Everything else is just you never know what's coming next. So by doing this, if you're running somewhat of a regular run, I don't care which direction, north, south, east, or west, and you know where to buy your fuel at a cheaper price to get you on down the road, that's good. That's good. Just do the simple math. For 1 month, on the first of the month, what's the truck mileage? At the end of the month, what's the truck mileage? Then take that envelope, as I showed in one of my other videos, add up all your cost for that month. And get that total, divide it into the mileage, and there's your operating cost per mile. You got it now. Don't forget to throw your truck payment and insurance payment in on that. And if you're paying for permits, some guys that are leased on with companies have to pay for the permits, and they have to pay for their share of the cargo insurance, etc. That's another fixed asset you got to pay, or not asset, but fixed expense you got to pay each month. So I hope I've enlightened many of you into that, into how to do some good analytical research to see if you're really making any money. Sometimes it's best just to park things in these troubled times like we're going through right now with this coronavirus. Sometimes it's best just to sit back and it doesn't pay to go down the road. Oh, I gotta feed my family. Well, you do. You gotta feed your family. I understand that. But all you're doing is tearing up your truck. You'd be better off to go get a job at one of these big chain grocery stores that are crying for help to stock shelves and feed your family that way. Or if your state has unemployment, just draw that. Do whatever you can. Apply for some of these loans. Which reminds me, in my other video I mentioned were those of us that pay taxes every year. We have to pay. The IRS does not have our bank information to send us one of those $1,200 stimulus checks. Well, I've tried to get in that website. I found out that after 2 or 3 tries, say in one day, it blocks you. I didn't know that. And then you got to wait 24 hours. So the last time I tried was Friday evening. I tried to go into this website, irs.gov/coronavirus/economic-impact-payments to give them my bank information because I'd love to have $1,200. I don't know about you guys. And it still says they can't find me or whatever. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's crashed or what. I know they ran out of SBA loan money last Thursday, which would have been the 16th. They ran out of small business loan money, but they're supposed to try to be refunding that. By refunding, I mean building that back up again. So, I don't know. We're in some really tough times right now. Look, if you guys have any questions, feel free to call me. 330-256-0390. Be careful out there. It's tough times right now. Just try to be patient, be careful, and think smart. Now, just because you got a load on the trailer doesn't mean you're making money. Okay? And don't forget, one thing, we just talked trucks here today. We didn't talk about if you own your own trailer. Okay? The average cost, last time I read, for pulling a van was 10 cents a mile for the van. Flatbed was around 15 cents a mile for pulling if you own your own flatbed, own your own van. And if you have your own reefer, That's about 25 cents a mile operating cost. So add that on to this. They say $1.05. I want to say $1.10. I'm still hanging with $1.10. And add that onto the cost too. So now if you're at $1.10 for truck, and you pull in a van trailer that you own, so you got to pay it. Now you're up to $1.20. Flatbed, $1.25. Reefer, $1.35 a mile. And that's not counting driver's pay. And some other factors it doesn't count. So small. I don't know if they're counting cargo insurance in here. Okay, they just kept mentioning truck insurance, so I don't know about the cargo insurance. Just try to think smart, guys. That's all I can tell you. If you have any questions, give me a call. 330-256-0390. Once again, Eric Hess, Tri-State Tax Service, Hamilton, Ohio. Thank you for being patient and watching this video all the way through. Have a good day.